This month, a flight carrying 130 Ethiopian immigrants touched down in Israel, bringing to an end Operation Tzor Yisrael, the Rock of Israel. This was an initiative to bring here 5,000 Ethiopians over the past few years. What the government says is the final group from that country qualified for immigration to Israel, either through their own Jewish roots or having family already in this country. But others disagree, arguing there are still others, thousands even, of Ethiopians left in that country who also deserve that opportunity. Some in transit camps, others in risky areas now embroiled in ethnic conflicts. Now, among those with that view is the UJA Federation of New York, which recently increased funding to groups here that both advocate for continuing the Ethiopian immigration and also more support for integrating into Israeli society those who are already here. Well, joining us for more on this topic is a lawyer and activist in the Ethiopian Jewish community, Aliyah Inbram. Aliyah, thank you for joining us. First of all, let me just ask you, the government says that's it. We've brought over now this 5,000. There's no more there. Others all disagree. What are the numbers, and you think, who still should come from Ethiopia, and who are we talking about here?
Well, we don't know the precise number, but if you say that's it, no more Jews in Ethiopia, it means that no more Jews in Russia, no more Jews in America, no more Jews in England. You never know where are the Jews. You can find every year either 1,000 or 2,000 people, Jews, in different areas, especially in the conflict area that you cannot reach. I can tell you that until now, the new immigrants who are coming from Ethiopia, they are coming from Gondar area.
Right.
For the last 20 years, the government did nothing with Tigray area, which they are remaining still for 5,000 Ethiopian Jews. Most of them they can come under the law, they can come to Israel under the law of return.
Right. So about 5,000 in the Tigray region, which is in this ethnic conflict right now.
That's right.
And they
so
can come
you cannot say no more Jews in Ethiopia as long as you are not going to Tigray and check what's going on there.
Right.
The last delegation who visited in Amhara region, the Gondar area, was a few days ago, professional delegation. They visited there, they saw, and they think that that's it, it's over. I think the door should be open always, number one. Number two, and the most important thing, is to check who is the Jew or who wants to come back to Judaism, and to implement the promise, because the minority of them, they are coming to Israel and they are against the conversion, the Giyur.
Right. So, and then let's just clarify, though, these are Ethiopians who qualify because of family connections that they might have. They might be parents of people who marry Jews, or they do qualify for immigration, just not under the law of return.
Yeah. But sometimes you find minority of people that they smuggle with the groups of new Olim. So they make it it makes it as an obstacle to continue to make Aliyah. Because I know the people of the Minister of Integration and the Minister of Interior. I know them. They hear the community. They hear the complaint. Sometimes they say, "Oh, they are not Jews. They shouldn't come. This is governmental decision. This is not a law." There is a big argue even among the Ethiopian Jewish community. But we have to follow the law.
Sure.
There is a law called law of return. First, you have to implement it. After you finish with that, because people in Ethiopia, Jews, who can come to Israel under the law of return, they are not coming. The budget that the government of Israel is giving to Aliyah is only for the governmental decision.
Right.
If you have brother in Ethiopia and say, "Hey, he's my brother, he can come to Israel through the law of return," they say, no, we don't have budget for that.
Right.
You have to go through the governmental decision. So it creates a lot of problems. The government must have priorities when it comes to Aliyah from Ethiopia. First, bring the people through the law of return. And then you can go to family members who their ancestor converted many years ago, and they can come to Israel to go through the Giyur. It's fine. But there is balagan, we call it in Hebrew, in this Aliyah.
A mess.
But I don't think this government will say, that's it, it's over, the close is closed. The next government will open it.
Certainly this government, the current minister of Aliyah feels is more focused, it seems, on other countries now. He's looking towards France, for example.
That's right.
But we have seen the other governments say, that's it, and then there's protests by the Israeli-Ethiopian community, by Jewish organizations from abroad, and we mentioned the federations in the United States, in New York. Do you think this government could change its mind if there's a sufficient enough public campaign?
Well, first of all, some of the Ethiopian community are criticizing the Jewish federations in America, which they are not also watching on the Tigray area. There are a lot of complaints that they don't invest some time on it.
Right.
And secondly, we believe that anyone who is entitled has the right to come to Israel, he should come to Israel. We don't believe today on operations, like Solomon operation, Moses operation. Individuals, check each of them if they have the right to come to Israel,
as Israel does with other Jewish communities abroad. Now let's talk about
and having a camp. It's complicated because in Africa, most Africans people wants to go out from Africa.
Right.
So if you have a camp,
a transit
you bring 1,000, you will get another 1,000.
Right. Those transit camps that are in Ethiopia. Right. Yeah. Let's talk about integration in Israel. Is there a question of whether the government is doing enough, or any government has done enough, to integrate these new immigrants from Ethiopia and devoting enough resources to it?
Well, okay. Let's split it to two groups. The group who came like 30 or 40 years ago, their integration today, they become totally Israeli people, with identity and mentality, but their obstacles is in the career area, positions, jobs, and etc. They want to integrate to the high position jobs.
Sure.
Regarding the new immigrants in the last 20 years, they need much more work in terms of strengthening their Jewish identity and beyond the Hebrew, the Ulpan, etc. And Zionism, love the country. And I think the government should focus on it because sometimes we feel we lose them in this area. The new immigrants who are coming, they need to convert to Judaism. They are not the same like 40 years ago with huge Zionism and love to Israel, the story.
Sure.
And walking through Sudan and a very emotional journey. It's different. And I think the government should focus on identity, mentality, and also integrated them to the military service, being proud of Israel, and etc. That's the most important for us as a community also, because we want them to integrate also back to the community we call Beta Israel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Elias Imbram, thank you for joining us on Jewish World Weekly.
Thank you very much.